Kontroll is a Hungarian thriller that tells the tale of Bulsho, a ticket inspector who works and lives in the metro system in Hungary, which is being terrorized by a serial killer who pushes his victims onto the tracks when the train comes. Bulsho spends his nights sleeping on the train platforms and never leaves the underground. With his crew of inspectors consisting of the veteran professor, the disheveled Lexor, the narcoleptic Mookie and dim-witted Tibi, the crew is routinely disrespected and assaulted by commuters who try to avoid paying fines in a variety of ways. Bulsho starts the day with a routine inspection where he becomes captivated by SMithee, the daughter of veteran metro driver Bella, but is interrupted by a chase of the repeat offending prankster Bootsy, who leads him into a gang fight. Bulsho is also challenged by rival Gonzo, who wants to face him on a rail run, where, after the last metro leaves a station, the two get on the tracks and race to the next station on foot before the maintenance carriage runs them over. Bulsho wins the contest, barely saving Gonzo in the process. Gonzo wets himself as a result, humiliating himself in Bulsho's eyes. After the events of the race, Bulsho unsuccessfully attempts to calm fellow Inspector Laci, who, after an altercation with a passenger, takes him hostage. When Laci says he cannot take it anymore, he slits the passenger's throat. This pushes Bulsho into a dark place that only gets amplified when he is reminded of his old life after running into an old co-worker, and we find that Bulsho has chosen this life as a result of his old one breaking. His anguish gets interrupted when he breaks up a fight between SMithee and another group of inspectors, which leads to he and SMithee enjoying a short date between the two. His happy day gets sidetracked again when he runs into Bootsy and chases him until he witnesses Bootsy being pushed on the tracks by a hooded figure, dressed in exactly the same way as himself. This now makes Bulsho aware that the rash of suicides in the metro are actually the work of a serial killer who wears clothes that match his own. Bulsho is eventually questioned about the murder, but refuses to disclose details of the incident. Bulsho resigns from the metro, and Mookie later insinuates that Bulsho is the murderer, accusing him of having the same mental issues as Laci. Infuriated Bulsho almost pushes him on the tracks, leading him to break away from the crew. When Bulsho later runs into SMithee, he finds himself in an underground costume party where he spots and follows the hooded killer. The two fight and end up on the tracks, where they start rail running like Bulsho did with Gonzo earlier. Bulsho outruns the killer and escapes the train, leaving the hooded figure dead on the tracks. Bulsho's day would end with meeting SMithee, who is now dressed as an angel that takes him from the metro back to the surface. Bulsho's story is one of a man who was broken by the competitive life of the everyday world he used to live in and found an escape in the simplicities of the underground he chose. In Gonzo, he sees a reflection of the man he was and the way he looked on life, constantly fighting to stay on top, with the threat of being shattered when he eventually is not. Through Laci and the hooded killer, he sees what his existence can, and most likely will be, if he continues to not face his issues and live a repetitive existence in the metro. Through SMithee, Bulsho finds a second chance at the happiness that he thought he had before, but found emptiness instead. By exercising the shadow of becoming like the hooded killer, Bulsho has found a new path out of the metro and back into the real world. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and turn on notifications for more videos like this.